The power of one.
The power of two.
The power of many.
Where is he? Hold on, Minnie. Where?
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to Sidetrack,
Hello,
MCubed,
hello,
all the
hello.
above. We have both Nick and Aaron from Chilling in the Basement with us today.
Howdy. Howdy.
How are you doing, my friend?
We're doing A-okay, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. Tired, but good. Stayed up too late for all that friend stuff last night. We're doing a play, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of
work, man.
networking stuff going on, and
Yeah. Got to network, got to promote the show, got to get people in those seats. It's a great show. You know, we got a
man.
couple more coming up on the 16th, 19th, and so on and so forth, I believe. Yes.
25th
Be
and
great.
30th, which we have live streams of if anybody wants.
So stay tuned. You will be seeing some good, clean, wholesome fun, minus
Yeah.
the clean and wholesome.
That's the title of the play. It's a fun sketch comedy show. But anyway, back to Star Wars. Jumping on to the Star Wars stuff. This is
Acolyte episode 3.
Which
right on.
Shall we preface it with how much Star Wars is it actually? Does it truly feel Star Wars at this point, or are we?
They are
starting away
changing
from the actual
the
feel
definition of Star Wars. I think the way they dance around the Force and who's able to wield it, right? They're trying to have that gray area. You know, a lot of gray Jedi vibes, a lot of Ahsoka stuff, I feel like. Not choosing your own path, but trying to they call it pulling the threads of the Force.
which is kind of Night Sister like, because they call it thread as well.
Yes, but if we're comparing witches, we already know who did it better with the magic, and it's Mother Talzin. Okay, hands down.
Tenfold.
Okay, the chants were even so much better, 1,000 times better with the Night Sisters, and with this, it's just the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. It
So
just wasn't.
I think I might have just seen it on Twitter, so don't quote me on it. Don't hold me hostage on this one. But
okay.
I think it was an actual article. I just didn't take the time to actually read it. I just saw the tweet and kept moving on with my day. But I saw that Leslie Headland and Dave Filoni to help her a lot with the witch aspect of things, the different aspects of the Force that aren't necessarily like Jedi or Sith oriented. And I can see that to a degree, but and we'll get into this later because I put it as one of our many bullet points to go over. I got a lot of bullet points for this one. That it just kind of feels like, okay, he might have helped her, but she knew that she couldn't take from the Night Sister aspect of stuff from Dave Filoni's part of Star Wars. So what we ended up with like we were talking about last week, just very tropey. It just felt like the most generic of kind of what we could have gotten, which is not what you want. You want something that has maybe some genericism to it, something that's familiar that we can kind of jump into and be familiar with, and are like, okay, we get the gist of it. Where can we go from here? We never got that. Where can we go from here from that? And that was interesting, But here's the man. Is he ready? I don't know. I see headphones going. Let's add him in.
Welcome.
Hello, second.
Howdy. But
now
yeah, we'll jump into that in a minute there, Nick, about all the different tropes and stuff. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aaron, how are you, my friend?
What up? I'm all right.
Good. Well, okay, just to start this off.
Yes.
Let's just rate the episode. You want to give it a 1 out of 5? Somewhere
out of
in that
5?
Range? Yeah, 1 to 5, that range.
Probably a 2 if I'm stuck on a scale of 5. 2.5.
Nick?
Oh, man. Well, 3 would be generous. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I'll say 2. I'm gonna say 2. Just for I mean, as far as storyline wise, yeah, you get a little backstory, but you're still left with a lot of mystery. Was telling Harris, it doesn't really explain much with this flashback. It just leaves us with more questions, like what the heck happened to the group of sisters? What are they called? They're not night sisters. Are they nice? What are they called?
No, they're
There's
just
the wish
witches.
Witches. Okay,
They're just a coven.
passed out. All right.
Dead.
Where are the other guy? Right. Saul just shows up, and what is it? May just sets fire to everything, and it's funny because towards the end they're reaching for each other. I'm like, why? Why would you be He just tried to murder you, for starters. I wouldn't be reaching for someone who just tried to set me on fire. And then the dialogue in that was just like, it wasn't strong. What did you do? No, what did you do? What did you do? I'm like, come on. I would have been like, I didn't set fire to anyone. Anyway, we could have had a little more there. It just seemed a little bland. And
We could have had a lot more there. I'm not like. I definitely have last week. Qualms was our, after just listening to the editing of the last video from last week, I said qualms probably 1,000 times. I didn't have too many qualms, I guess, with this episode just because my expectations were so low. But I think I'd still give it a 1 out of 5. It just was.
Quest, we're always dosed up on meds around here. What the fuck are you talking about, Brie?
Damn right. Yeah, I haven't heard from him in a couple of days. I was hoping you were all right. Hopefully you're doing all right, my friend. I thought it was a mess. Hugh Wolfgang, it was a mess. That's why I give it a 1 out of 5. I can't find anything there that was. They're just using. I'm going to get into this. Is going to be the word of the episode. Is going to be tropes. Is once again, it's just everything was just so safe in the sense of. We don't want to like go too far in one direction. We'll just kind of hold it back, and it was it's too simple, too safe. There's nothing there to actually dangle in front of us. It's a big nothing burger right now, and I don't know. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Did you see what we did when just to do the intro, Aaron?
No.
I brought myself up. I said the power of one. Brought Nick up. He said the power of two. We just brought your chair up for a second and went the power of many.
The power of many. I was like, where's many? And then we did the intro.
Justin, if you want to come hang out, you're more than welcome to too. I'll send you a link. But shoot, this is not going to be it's not going to be a great Star Wars episode. It's going to be a sad Star Wars episode. Damn.
Well,
okay.
The only thing I talked about last night on my stream was the Acolyte, other than my usual digressions that I'm famous for. But I did a 3-hour, almost a 4-hour stream just on this shit last night. So, yeah.
Well, round two. Let's do it again because it's mind-boggling. I don't know. Okay, let's. I mean, slowly and surely, let's get through it.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me from the get-go was, and I know people have mentioned it, but it's just a little simple thing, was fraternal twins looking into like identical twins by the time they're adults. I don't think twins work that way. I'm sure there are plenty of cases that it has, but like that's just throwing you off in the first place. Just have one actress for the kid. I don't know.
That's just, there are plenty of talented kid actors out there.
There are.
Those two are not it. I'm sorry, kids, but I've already seen better child acting in Star Wars, and that was young Leia in Kenobi. She was one of the few bright spots of that particular show.
Oh God, yeah,
that little girl kicked ass. Oh,
in a big way.
So it's not like they don't know how to find talented child actors. They just kind of didn't bother much. It would seem.
Yeah.
Ooh, 10. Justin will be in about 10 or so.
No, I'm trying to find his Twitter account. and send him the. There we are.
Got him.
Maybe. I have his old Twitter account. I know I'm following him. I thought I had messaged him. We'll figure that out in a second here. Anyway, very low threshold with the current Doctor Who season. Oh God, Star Wars is on Doctor Who level right now, and that's just making me sad. Hey, at least Acolyte's better than Doctor Who. Oh God. Well, that's the thing. Is it right now? Are we?
I don't know. I haven't
Jesus.
watched Doctor Who.
Me either. I'm
either.
scared to. What y'all think about? Was it at least a good? One of the good, I guess, storytelling devices they chose to implement here was kind of maybe, I guess, Osha being intrigued with the Force itself and kind of using it on an animal for a second, and then May coming in there and just immediately like torturing the thing. Still generic, I guess, but it's not something to fault them with right there. But that's probably the only semblance of something that like true, I guess, interest in the Force or something that's like, all right, let's have some intrigue with nature, how the Force works with nature, something like that. You know, it's not.
Like, before we get into too many deep specifics, like, my biggest problem with this particular episode is I can see what they're trying to do, and I'm like, get there, you motherfucker. Yeah. It's like I can see what they're trying to do and I can explain it, but they're not, like, I shouldn't have to translate what they're fucking doing for other people.
No.
You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to be explaining the story more than the show is. And that's what I'm having to do so far.
Yeah, no.
And it does not look remotely like $180 million was spent on that show.
No, I mean, everything that we do see.
You're saying, like, where did the budget go?
It better be in episodes like 7, 8, or 6, 7, 8 or something, like big old 3-episode humongous, just bombastic fucking finale. Or it's like, what the hell did you do with that dough?
Because I mean, everything we have seen looks good, but like we talked about last episode, it doesn't feel lived in the sense like we haven't explored anything. Everything we've seen has been just such a small set piece. It's been tiny. It's not like we're actually exploring and living in the vast world of Star Wars. It doesn't feel like there could be trillions of human beings and trillions of other aliens living throughout this galaxy right now. It feels like, all right, we're in a back room here. We're in the woods for a scene here, but you know it's not the actual woods because it's such a confined little space and they're not able to walk far. Just give us just a little bit. Just pull the camera back a little bit. Put them outside for just 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes.
We've gotten like what? The outside shot when she was repairing the ship, like them flying in. Couple of establishing shots here and there, but other than that, nothing of scope.
No. And even then, those were just clear, like, CG backdrops instead of something to, like, enthrall you with the world you're about to jump in. It's not like putting you in on a new planet or something like that. I guess we got a little of Brindok in this episode before that we jumped in there, but it was just a jungle for a second. The writing is not cohesive. It is very janky. It's very janky. It's almost like it's not Star Wars like. It doesn't flow like the Force has had its hand on it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And one thing I do have an issue with in the show so far, and this episode kind of epitomized it a little bit, is it leans into cringy. Star Wars can be very cringy, and I get why, like, your average Joe just watching it that doesn't like nerdy kind of stuff, doesn't like the kind of jump into the fantastical world of different things, can kind of would be like, oh, your general Star Wars is cringy. I feel like there's enough cool stuff where you can kind of defend it on any general basis. I don't know if there's enough cool stuff in this series to defend anything. It's just cringe. The two little twins fighting while their mom's talking in the background, trying to like discuss what's going on in the world with the Coven. There's a billion different ways to film that and make it actually interesting or intriguing or anything. They don't take a second to listen. There's nothing to listen. It's just bickering. It's too much. It's too much, man. Well, Y'all think it's cringy or not? What are we thinking?
I don't know about cringy, but it's definitely fucking lame. Like I wasn't watching any of that going, ugh. But I was going, the fuck?
The entire time, I wouldn't say it was cringy. Like I was turning away, but I was like, "Where is this going? Where's this leading?" And then, okay, we see the big message that one wants this path, the other wants the other path. They want different things, and then one won't accept it, and so she decides to kill her sister, and then it kind of just gets janky from there. Like for the rest of the story, like the first half of it is just explaining the different aspects of the Force, and the second half is which path is a child going to take, because they're clearly two different people and want to do different things. One wants to be a witch, one wants to be a Jedi, and then all of a sudden everything's on fire. And okay, and what's his name? The before all this, when that one Jedi got possessed by the witch. Torben, yes, thank you. And then nothing happened after that. Could you have maybe had a bigger confrontation than just that little piece?
I
or
also
is that foreshadow
to
something? Is that foreshadow?
It could be some foreshadowing, but I find it really funny how the Jedi enter there and it turns all ominous, like, oh god, we got to stop our little witch seances over here. Okay, calm down, hang out. And then the first thing Mother Anastasia says is, put your weapons down. We don't want to cause harm. We don't want to fight. We meet them on good terms. And then not 2 minutes into their conversation, she possesses a kid in the corner. Like,
right, the Padawan.
Yeah.
Not
one of the actual Jedi. Let's the youngling that's over here, not the youngling, of course, but the Padawan, the one that is the most susceptible around here. Let me possess the kid and threaten you real quick. But no, we're not gonna put our weapons out here to be mean or anything. I mean, that's just the quickest way to antagonize a Jedi, is to show them hey, I have real power. I'm going to use it against you if you don't, meet me on certain grounds.
Right.
And then they ended up dictating terms anyway.
Yeah, of course.
And then they just let it all happen. Like, why need to threaten? Are you just showing power?
It just didn't feel like an actual conversation people would have with one another, which is kind of my biggest thing. In those moments where you should have levity, you should have the moments of, okay, well, this is where we're getting somewhere. We're having real conversations. Like, these are big parties talking to one another. How is this going to move the story forward? And it just ends up being expository. You're like, all right, well, thank you for telling me how we're moving forward instead of actually doing it. It's
yeah.
Poor Torben / Tony.
I mean, it's almost like they're writing it to where you have to be spend most of your time being like a breakdowny Easter egg hunty person in order to actually get the hints. Like, for example, the scar that was on Floaty Torben's face, with his fucked up eye and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that scar wasn't there when they first confronted the witches. But when they were back on the ship after the fire, it was. But I saw that somebody in a video pointed that out. I'm like, oh, but that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's like we didn't even get a zoom shot on the scar for a hint. It was just kind of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels
a
like
little
a lot
more of a connection.
To...
Give us a more obvious connection to what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to allude to things, but give us something to grasp at instead of just straws.
We're not supposed to be the detectives in this motherfucker. The Jedi are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and really, just saying that, the big reveal in the first 2 episodes, the fact that they're twins and not just one person.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that got out of the way in the first 30, 40 minutes of the show, because that was some of the worst detective work I think I've ever seen.
You know what I always
go back
to?
Episode 3 was all flashback. No Sith, not yet.
Right? I always go back to Spaceballs. Ever watch the movie Spaceballs, guys? Where they're like giving the entire plot in one sentence. It's like, once we force the king to give us the access codes, we'll suck out all the air. And then they break the fourth wall, turn to the cameras. Like, everyone got that? Like, we just gave the whole plot. Cool? All right, let's keep going. There's like, oh my gosh, there's no strong like dialogue that just gets us attached to the show.
They essentially do that per scene. They're like, this is what we're gonna do in this scene. Da 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 da. This is what we're gonna do in this scene. Da 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 da. We need something laid out. We need those creepy plans that have been laid out by the Empire for 40 years. Or obviously we're not talking Empire, but this Sith cult or this Witch Coven cult, whoever it may be, has been doing this stuff for a long time. Has been laying the crumbs. Show us the crumbs. Don't just show us the moments, I guess, that we're seeing. we need more pivotal spots.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's always a balance between the show me, don't tell me. Sometimes we need to be told. Sometimes we need to be shown, and they're not figuring out which one they're supposed to be doing at any given time at all.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
This was the first flashback, and it just raises a lot more questions, no answers. Like we knew that both girls took different paths, and they thought the one girl was dead. I'm like, okay, there's one answer. She fell. Who knows what happened? And then that what was her name? The first Jedi got killed.
Indara?
Oh, Indara.
Yeah. That explains why she got revenge or something, maybe. I don't know. Or she asked, like, who trained her? It was probably one of the witches that survived. I don't know. Possibly.
Something. Maybe a witch will survive. I mean, that'll just feel a little Asajj-like again, but once again.
The going theory is it's Corrin.
Oh.
Because we never saw her corpse. The one that carried the twins.
Yeah, the Iridonian.
When the fuck did Zabraks get pointed ears like Vulcans? Because that's the first time I've ever seen a Zabrak with pointed fucking ears.
Well, she's not Zabrak. She's Iridonian, isn't she?
Well, Iridonian or Dathomirian, they're still Zabraks.
Oh, that's true. Well,
So
yeah,
I've been trying to figure that one out. It's like everyone wants to call her Zabrak. I'm like, Zabraks don't have ears like Spock, bro. They don't.
That's detail. I can tell the difference. I mean,
so maybe she's half Zabrak, half something else. Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. It either that or they're just inventing fucking new races or some shit. I don't know. But this would be the first time I've seen pointed ears on a Zabrak in anything Star Wars.
Her parents were brother and sister, and
right.
A little different, just a little different. Okay.
Yeah.
They got a little mutation there.
Or maybe there were some cosmetics, in the Star Wars, and
I'm trying to think back into like prequels of Eth Koth or anybody like that. Nobody had pointed ears as a Zabrak. No. It wasn't even Maul, in actual.
There's another one from the Old Republic I'm thinking of. I think it was the same species. He didn't have pointed ears.
Yeah, I can't think of a live action or a video game or animation one with pointy ears like that.
Well, maybe it's just me, but I've never seen Vulcan ears on a Zabrak before. So I'm like, everyone wants to call her Zabrak. I'm like, I'm out here typing away. They don't have fucking pointed ears. They don't have fucking pointed ears. They don't have fucking pointed ears.
She's Zabrak-esque. I don't know. Icarus was saying, it seems that we're missing the other side of the story. What happened to all those witches and what did May do? We'll get to it again later, of course, but just generally for the debacle in the episode that we don't really get to see, we just get, the kind of background of.
Yeah, we get the start and we get the end. The rest of it happens when when Osha's crawling through the tunnel.
Oh yeah, like how long is this freaking tunnel? Anyway, how much of it is May doing some crazy bad Force stuff, and then how much is it a Jedi doing their crazy bad Force stuff? And also, I saw LBC Robbie says, I don't love it so far, biggest complaints being knives and the vilification of the Jedi. That last sentence we'll get to in a minute, though. The vilification of the Jedi, are they coming in here just slaughtering a bunch of witches and trying to justify it for some reason, or does May do something? They come in here and then justify any just like brief theories or thoughts or anything like that, because none of it makes sense, and I know they're going to try to make it make sense later, but how
Well, I mean, they're definitely, at least right now, implying that the Jedi did something shady because Torben committed suicide and all that fun shit. On the other hand,
Yeah.
there's still the deal of the missing Mother Corin or whatever her fucking non-Zabrak. God damn it, not her ass is. I know the weirdest things trigger me, but she's not a fucking Zabrak. Okay.
It's lore consistencies. That's all we're looking for here.
Mhm.
Which we will be getting to in a minute, and that does also pertain to the Last Jedi comment there at the end there. Yeah. While we're talking about the witch stuff, the witch cackles. I mean, first of all, the power of one, the power of two,
Jesus.
the power of many might be the cheesiest shit I've ever seen and heard
That
in my
whole
life.
ceremony.
That was cringy. I'm sorry, but that was cringy. The only thing cringier than that was in the background of that, because no actress on set was doing it, so they totally added it in post. Was
Oh yeah, I know. What's like? Are we watching Looney Tunes all of a sudden?
I was like, oh god, Bugs
What
Bunny is
the
gonna
fuck?
pop out over here, like shit. I was God.
How did anyone in that studio watch this back and be like, "That was awesome"? Like, the fuck?
More of that. You know what? Let's not do it once. Let's do it twice. Let's put it again.
Oh yeah, more of that.
Sweet Jesus.
Oh god.
Like I watch everything on with captions on now just so I can pick stuff up. And it said the caption for that was maniacal cackling.
It cracked me up. I was like, oh god.
No, no. The Emperor maniacally cackles. That's not maniacal cackling. That's just cartoon cackling.
Yeah, that was an insert witch track instead of insert laugh track. That's all that was.
Insert witch track from the 40s.
Yeah. I thought Bride of Frankenstein was gonna pop out behind there or something. I'd like good.
Might as well have said, I'm a witch. I'm a witch. I'm a witch. It's just so
No. They did that in the conversation before that.
Oh yes. They actually cut that part out.
Good lord. Yeah. Okay. LBC Robbie saying again, didn't love the witch thing at all, but lore wise, I don't see how they're different than the Night Sisters. Still was cringe though, no doubt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't mind witches. I love witches. I'm from the voodoo part of the country. I like me some witchy kind of stuff. But if you're gonna do it, give us something that has at least sprinkle something original throughout there. We don't need the exact, just like we were saying earlier, just tropes. It's just the most generic tropes tossed onto something. It's like, all right, we already have the Night Sisters who have this really intriguing lore that make them not so much like your average witch from any other story or tale you've heard. How can we do that with these witches? No, we won't. We'll insert maniacal laugh here. One more here. Just the effort that was put into it just feels so minimal, and you can it's tangible. That minimal effort is tangible, and it hurts.
The thing with the Clone Wars, I'm comparing the Night Sisters to these witches. It felt like their environment was also alive. The Night Sisters on Dathomir felt very lived in. This place, it's not really like lighting up when they're chanting or anything. You don't see any mystical mist or like any energy, right? You don't have a sense of power. You just have people chanting like normal. You don't even have any like mystical reverb on the voices getting stronger or anything, just like I'm just saying, like, that's what the Night Sisters had too. They had all these like cool aspects of it, and there's none of that in this.
Nope.
If you're talking about witches,
yeah,
there's nothing witchy about them.
The representation of their power, even when they were doing the ceremony, was like barely visible. It's like this light pinkish purplish fog that is ridiculously transparent. I mean, Night Sister magic is at least, nice neon-y pukey green, and it's thick.
And you could make it like a goopy, pukey pink as well, which would be kind of cool and have it be something different. And I don't mind the tangible, like, visual element of the Force, but if you're gonna do it, make it feel like the Force. Yeah, even whenever like we were talking about the cringe or not so much cringe, the just the fighting of the twins while the mom was talking and all that. Also, there's the force push that she does there. Those are the weakest things ever. And if we want an example of power, like, oh, you're about to have this power that's imbued within the two of you, this big ascension is what we're calling it. And, you know, we're Stargate folk around these parts. If you're ascending somewhere, it's a big friggin' deal, you know?
Oh yeah.
So you just hear that word, you're like, this is what we get. She's got a little forehead tattoo now. That's all it takes, and she's ascended. Now she can start manifesting babies and other people and stuff too. Like, I don't. Is this how it's all going to work?
Oh yeah, I got you, Justin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the whole, child was conceived through the Force is just the whole meaning behind that is just kind of torn apart. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't like it. I like how they did it with Anakin, of course, and George Lucas explained it, but this, I don't know. They make it seem like they somehow manipulated the Force to make these two kids, right? Or am I making?
No. You're right. You're right. It's just it's such a it's either completely broken the lore or they're being really meticulous and they're going to do something that could turn out cool. I'm just like Aaron said earlier, I don't know if it's going to be a good thing if what they do is kind of interesting, and then the only way to actually make it interesting is to have people break it down for you, because they're not actually showing you the cool stuff. They're just telling you stuff, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, this guy's got a scar on his cheek now. Let's not even like do just a little quick cut of something, It's interesting. Mark brought up a good point, which I think is one of the only ways that maybe it could be justified in the future. Is Mother Maul, I think is talking about Mother Talzin, is May's mysterious master, and the mysterious master's master is the weird apothecary guy who will turn out to be Darth Tenebris, who later trains Darth Plagueis the Wise. He can't be Darth Tenebris because Darth Tenebris is a Bith, the dudes that play the saxophone in the original Star Wars Cantina.
Yep. And also, there's no way they'll be cool enough to bring in Tenebris or Plagueis anyway. So just that right there.
The Plagueis is the only way they can make this make sense, though. Plagueis is the only way they can make it make sense, but I'm not convinced that they will.
They're not going to do anything that cool, though. Kathleen Kennedy won't allow it.
Because there's no lore to draw upon from Star Wars, right?
Yeah, there's no reference material.
That just hurts me. That hurts my soul. But yeah, no. If
in your Discord DMs, Jay, Discord DM.
Sweet. But if Plagueis is possibly involved in this, I think is the only way they can actually make this make sense. I don't know how they truly make it make sense, because obviously Anakin is the Force's reaction to Plagueis trying to create life. So why can witches do it and there's no reaction? Or I guess maybe they could say that the witches have been doing this for a long time and it's been bolstering maybe the evil aspect of the Force, and by the time Plagueis does it, there's so much evil in the Force that it needs to override itself with the Chosen One. That could be a caveat that they could write themselves into, and I just don't like it, though, because it still takes away from everything that we've known as Star Wars fans and learned as Star Wars fans for some people the past 5 decades.
Yeah. They have, to me, I don't consider it lore breaking yet. They are definitely running through a minefield with metal shoes right now. And they still have 5 episodes of that minefield left, so we'll see. But the only thing that's like really keeping me from losing it is when they're talking about how much the Jedi would hate how they did it. So to me, that says that's less them like using dark side, like the dark side of the Force, and more just using whack ass crazy witch shit that is dark. I know I'm splitting my couple of hairs here, but
It's using the thread, not the force.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It works to a degree, but that degree is just. I feel like it's just such an eye-rolling degree that we're all at this point. Like we mentioned it in the last episode last week when we were talking about it. Half the details that we're getting in this show, we're going to get the actual details in 4 years in the annex of some book.
Probably. What, you mean like the sequel trilogy?
Oh yeah, entirely. That entire thing.
Yes.
But yeah, no. Yeah, those were my next bullet points. We just went over all that. But okay, so that means the next bullet point down here that I got though is Jedi were straight up stalking and planning to steal the kids. So we were just talking about how the Jedi have been bad. That's just they've obviously been bad. They've been doing this stuff for a long time, but they don't. I feel like tend to stalk the children and find them in the woods and creep up on them playing in the woods. And then follow them home, time and time again.
Yeah, my thought, and of course they did not bother to explain this shit yet. But my thought is they were originally there for like they first heard reports about the witches, just in general, because obviously if they got exiled, they caused some kind of kerfluffle, right? Mm-hmm. So and since the Jedi were at their peak at that time, I'm sure they heard about most things. So they're probably like, all right, what are these psycho bitches up to? And then on their way to find them, they may have heard rumors about, this tribe of all adult witches suddenly has daughters there now. So they're like, and it's still all girls. So they're like, oh, what the fuck now? So I'm sure it was started off being a witch investigation. And then it's like, okay, well, we know they're up to shit. And now they got kids they're training. Well, fuck. But again, the show should be explaining that, not me.
Yeah. That could, and all that could be explained within 3 scenes. It's not like it actually requires that much compared to what we've been getting. Just we need to see their Jedi on their actual witch hunt, which would be cool.
Honestly, you could have just started there with the show entirely. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of plot right there, and then just keep going with it. Mm-hmm. But sure, they want to jump back in time, like back even further, and start the show in the future and then do a couple flashbacks. But, there's always 2 ways. You explained it in, 3 minutes, but I don't know. I thought that was really awesome of you.
Yeah.
They did it in 3 episodes,
Mm-hmm. $60 million to get us this far.
That's all, not too much.
Almost 70, actually. 66 and change.
Order 66 and change.
Yeah.
Okay. I got another good topic. I think.
Do what must be done. Show no mercy.
None. We'll save the bullet point for a second for Justin to hop in, but LBC's bringing up a good point. Look, it is missing some key elements and pacing problems, absolutely, but it's not the Cuban Missile Crisis like everyone's saying. I totally agree with that. I think it's not great by any means, and I think it's actually kind of bad to some degrees. I totally do think it is bad in some ways, just the actual storytelling aspects of it. But it's no Cuban Missile Crisis. It's nothing to spill your milk over, per se. It's something that is like, all right, Star Wars, this is not the direction we need to be going in, especially after Mando Season 3, and then Ahsoka not being up to the par or the scale that we wanted it to be. This is not the direction we want to continue in. We want to go back into Andor direction. This is, and I know that's a whole different topic in general, but we want at least, we want some quality. We want.
There's only one way out.
I will go with you when it comes to quality of writing. I'll go as far as you with that for Andor, but at this show, as crappy as it is, it's still more Star Wars than Andor is. Fuck off and leave me alone.
I need more action, I think in Ahsoka, they did a lot of good work with the lightsaber battles between Ahsoka and what's his name? Was it Balin?
Those were the best fights.
Okay.
Was her and
I was
Balin.
about to say the lightsaber battles were not great in Ahsoka, besides the Balin ones.
Balin and Anakin. I don't care. I'll defend that. Honestly, bringing Hayden Christensen back kind of saved that. That's why I gave it a 3 out of 5. I'd watch it for that. Why?
I don't
Why is
hate
that
Andor. It just
okay.
does. It's just sci-fi with a Star Wars sticker on it. That's all. It's beautifully crafted, beautifully
this
written.
kind of feels like sci-fi with a Star Wars sticker on it too. They're not even using the Force,
But the Jedi are using the Force. The witches are pulling the thread. The witches are yanking on the thread. The Jedi are using the Force.
It's still this just doesn't feel inherently Star Wars in some way, and I don't know why, because it is inherently Star Wars in so many ways. It just doesn't. We were talking about the production quality. It's there. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's the lack of the lived-in part of the world. If we go do some exploring somewhere and actually walk through some streets, we don't need a cantina scene or something like that. That'd be another trope for them to go into, of course. But we just need something to feel like lived in. And I hate to say it over and over and over again, but Lucasfilm, listen. Because if Lucasfilm listens, we won't have the power of one. We won't have the power of two, but we will have the power of many. Oh, come on.
It's Jover, guys.
There he is. What's up,
Hi.
my guy?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah. What topic are we on regarding this show at this point?
The level of Star Wars it's at. Does it feel Star Warsy? Because it has inherently Star Wars things, but something keeps it from feeling like Star Warsy to me. And I don't necessarily know exactly what it is, because it could be a bunch of things. It might not be. I don't know. What you thinking?
I want to say it has some Star Wars elements, and that's only because we see lightsabers at this point. Dude, at this point, man, like, the only reason I'm giving it another shot for episode 4, which episode 4, I'm gonna be completely straight up with you, is gonna be probably the last episode I watch. It's only because it does have elements of Star Wars. That is what I bitched about for Andor. So I'm gonna give it a shot for one more episode. I don't know why, because it's Jover, but I'm gonna do it. This last episode was definitely a kick in the nuts. I don't agree with any of y'all saying it did not really fuck with the Anakin prophecy, because
it's dancing around it, but it hasn't yet.
Dude, it's not dancing at this point, bro. It's word for word.
It's what the fuck?
Borderline word for word copying Phantom Menace and when he's leaving his mom. So
well, that's where I think it does fuck with lore. I think it really does screw with lore in a big way. I think they have the ability to dance around, like Chillin's saying, to find their way out of that minefield, maybe, but they've stepped on a mine and they're trying to find their way out right now. It's glued.
Saul literally said he based his character off of Qui-Gon freaking Jinn, man, and he's over here recruiting Osha to come be a Jedi, and she says yes, and said okay, and then what do you see in the end? You see the one guy who asked her to come to rescue her while all the witches are down. And I don't know, just you're right.
In the most predatory way too, bro. Like, that's what's annoying about it, bro. They have made the Jedi dumb. They made them look very stupid. They are the worst investigators known to men. And now they're predatory. Like, bro, like, you're stalking 2 kids in the woods. What the fuck is that? So
you're going out of your way to send 4 masters and a Padawan, 5 people who could be doing so much good around the galaxy, to go
harass these witches,
and prey on children. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure the witches might not be doing great stuff, but you gonna go steal some kids and make some more bad ones? Like,
yeah. So this might actually, I'm gonna say this might actually be the one piece of Star Wars material that is worse than Andor. It's crazy. I never thought I'd say it. I never thought I'd see it either, but they managed it. It's crazy.
Well, I'm happy Andor's out of the doghouse for a little bit. That makes me happy. But
Andor
shit,
was never in the doghouse as a television show.
Oh, it was for me.
Just attempting to call it Star Wars is ridiculous because there's nothing outside of it that's unique as Star Wars at all, other than references. You put one space wizard in there, and it's Star Wars. Other than that, it's any plot you could put in any sci-fi movie or TV show anywhere on the planet. Evil empire is building a super weapon, and a rebellion doesn't like that shit, so they're trying to stop them. There it is.
It's tough, man. This has been tough. So.
Rebel Moon. Oh, look, rebellion.
oh god, and that
Battlestar Galactica. Blah, 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 blah. Like I said, there's nothing about Andor that is specifically Star Wars.
But you
It's
know
a
why
sci-fi
people
show.
watched it? Because
'Cause it
Rogue
was-
One was so great. The writing in it was so awesome. People loved the spy side of it. That they got
That's-
people hooked on Andor, and then you bring in Andy Serkis. That's just me, my opinion.
No, I love Andy.
Who is a phenomenal actor. Why wouldn't you freaking finish the series just for the actors? No offense. That's just. And
Well,
it's
why
a
would
great
we when he
ending.
died in episode
Have you
6?
gotten to the prison? Have you gotten? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
He
The
doesn't-
Last Jedi. I was so mad. I was so mad.
Let's not
I
get
don't
carried
know
away,
where that
guys.
You got a point there.
Oh, with the
Let's
blue
not get
milk.
carried away, man. Like the only
Yeah.
thing I remember about Rogue One is Darth Vader, and that's it. Like,
If there's-
it wasn't
I'm
that
sorry.
great.
If you have more than one scene of a homie eating cereal while getting yelled at by his mom, no. Huh?
that was just the one scene.
There was multiple scenes of him eating cereal and his mom chewing his ass out. Multiple.
Okay.
But
But anyway, Acolyte. Is it the actual worst Star Wars thing we've seen? I know we're 3 episodes in, but so far is it just like that's what I'm trying to say, I guess, like storytelling wise, because it feels like a child wrote it in a lot of ways. And that's my biggest gripe with it. It's not good by any means right now. It's got elements of maybe things that could be good, but is this
What's up,
like
Brooke?
the actual
oh, Brooke.
quality wise worst thing we've gotten?
It's right down there. It and Kenobi are kind of like running right. You know, they're doing this right now. Because Kenobi was fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worse than Boba Fett, Icarus.
Oh, it's
No,
worse than
this is
both of those,
definitely worse than
actually.
Boba Fett.
I think so.
Definitely worse than Boba Fett. But it and Kenobi are probably running neck and neck for, you know, big steaming pile of shite quality wise right now for sure.
And
Everyone
there's
needs to
God
make
good
a
actors
list
in
of
it,
all
too.
the Star Wars TV shows. Each one of us here, just rate which one is like the worst at the bottom to the best at the top. I want to see each of your lists because I think Boba Fett for me is probably at the bottom. Acolyte
Well,
so
top
far
3 and
is
worst 3.
yeah. Go ahead. Can you think of it?
Well, start us off. What would be your top 3 and worst 3?
Top, I don't know. I think worst 3 right now. Worst 3. One of them's Boba Fett. The other, I don't. Okay, for my top 3, Mando. I actually liked Kenobi, so I'll agree to disagree on that one. I did enjoy it. The nostalgia of seeing Ewan McGregor back as Kenobi was great, and that episode when he's facing Hayden Christensen again. Oh my gosh, how could you not cry
There are a
at
lot
that,
of
dude?
great
I
moments. in
cried.
Rogue One.
There's a lot, so I enjoyed about it. So that's something that I would rewatch. I wouldn't rewatch Boba Fett. I still haven't. I don't so far. I would not rewatch Acolyte. That's why I put it at my, worst Star Wars shows. And I can't think of any others right now. But Mando and Kenobi, I liked. How about you, Harris?
We're saying top 3 and worst 3. Top 3, I can say Rebels is up there for number 1, and I would say
Okay.
Clone Wars is probably up there, and then sorry, y'all, I love me some Andor. It's up there for 3. I like me some quality writing, you know.
Okay.
But worst 3, Acolyte's got to be there. I think Book of Boba Fett's just there just because it's just so freaking messy in general. And 3rd,
Yeah.
would be. I kind of almost want to say Resistance, but I'm not sure because Resistance got better by season 2, but that season 1 was pretty low quality.
You're talking in terms of animation. Yeah, in animation, I put Clone Wars on my list for one of the best shows for Star Wars for sure. But I was talking like more in the sense of live action. It's Justin,
Oh.
right?
Yes,
Justin?
it is.
How about
What's
you?
your name? I'm sorry.
I'm Nick. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nick, nice to meet you, man.
How about you?
Live action wise, at this point I have to put Acolyte as the worst.
Okay.
Following that up, probably it'd have to be Andor, then Book of Boba Fett. And then the best ones, that's a tough one. Ahsoka's gonna be in there. Mando would probably follow after that. What else live action have they had?
Exactly. There's not too much to go off of. That's why I only had like 2, like my top 2, and then like the bottom 2, or like they said, there's only like 5 or 6 shows that you can put on the list.
Because Kenobi, I can't put Kenobi there because of just moments. Like that would literally be the only reason.
Okay, so he would be like not the worst, but he'd be like the least of your worst.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. And I haven't been introduced to you yet. What's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah,
Yep.
nice to meet you too. How about yourself? Would you agree to disagree?
Let's see. Acolyte, Kenobi are definitely in the bottom. If we're stuck with live action only,
Where are you gonna put Andor?
I'm going to ignore Andor's existence.
Good. Don't put it down there. Thank you.
It's in the middle.
You better finish it and then come back next time. We can talk.
My top 2 live action shows are Mando season 1 and Mando season 2, and Ahsoka is number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I just couldn't put Mando in my top 3 just because that's season 3. That's not the worst thing in the world, but
awful.
It tickled the Clone Wars love in me a little bit, and that's about all it had for goodness. Preposterous.
You're exactly right. That was literally the best scene in that entire fucking show, bro.
Oh, hands down.
The walk through the town when he is like fully
just going around, just
100% complete epitome of Dark Side Vader. Just walking
just the
down,
brutality of it was
dragging
great.
people. Oh, hey, look, there's a little kid sitting there. Snap. Yeah. I was like, that's fucking Vader. They got that right out of that entire show.
And I did like it. It wasn't the best CG in the world, but if it had a little bit more of an Acolyte budget, it might have been a little bit better. Was whenever he stopped.
Yeah, where's the proof of that in the Acolyte, motherfucker?
Well, it looks good. It just doesn't have the scope. I
like how we're talking about the best parts of a show. It's not even about the Acolyte. It's about a different show.
Yeah, I know.
Remember that best part of the? Oh wait, we're talking about Acolyte. Sure, yeah.
To round it back into Acolyte, while we're talking about Book of Boba Fett and stuff like that, we talked about it last week, Nick and I, about how this show is trying to pull a hard not Book of Boba Fett and not Arrow, where Arrow was kind of half and half flashback, half and half not. And you got into the point where the flashbacks were cooler than what was going on in the show, and you kind of lost the what you wanted to watch for the show itself. Right. Book of Boba Fett was honestly almost backwards of that, where it was still kind of half and half, but you're like, okay, well, I get that you want to show me these different things, and I see how you want to show me them whenever you put somebody in a back to tank. Here we go. But give me the original story, and then give me the new story, and that would make me like it tenfold more. Are they trying to do that here? And have they misordered it? Because I feel like this episode would have been a much better first episode. Would have pissed some people off, sure, but it would have been a better first episode where maybe people dying in episode 2 and 3, which would have been episode 1 and 2, what we have, would have had better context. Does that make sense? Would you all agree with that, or do you think they just
agree with that? I agree in the sense like the Book of Boba Fett was supposed to be like a bounty hunter style show, but it was more of a mafia boss territorial thing where he goes against the other clans or whatever. And
He's not Boba Corleone. Goddamn it.
anyway, yeah, exactly. So I like how they reference the Parks and Rec episode where the guy talked about how Boba Fett would exactly survive, and the director made it exactly. You know what I'm talking about. Like, there's an episode of Parks and Rec where this guy was like explaining. Yeah, he explains how Boba Fett survives, and that's what they did in the exact first episode. So I'm just saying, like, and the rest of the series was shit. I'm just saying, like, they didn't even write the first episode because they got it from a freaking comedy show, who was actually brilliant. And I'm saying, have him write it. Have the people from Parks and Rec write the show because they actually had something good going. I did want to see, like, how did he survive? How did Boba Fett survive, and what did he do after that? You should have just had him leave Tatooine with other bounty hunters and do bounty hunter shit where bounty hunters die, and then you bring in Cad Bane, and they finally had that face off in the end. But I mean, that's one thing they did right. I just wish it was somewhere else and under other circumstances.
But similar to like Acolyte now is, would they have served it better if they would have re-edited, I guess, how they did it and given you that context earlier on, so then you get to Cad Bane at the end and you're like, oh, here we go. Obviously, you would need some more bounty hunters to do that, but that's kind of what we're in with the Acolyte right now is like, okay, I get what you're going with when episode 1 and 2, whenever we hop in there as a fresh audience, we're like, okay, well, they killed Trinity. They killed the Game of Thrones guy. Here we go. And that might feel weird, and it does turn you off a little bit, but like contextually, if you would have had this episode first, at least it would have gave you a little more gravitas going into it. And maybe you don't need to do half and half or do because I think, like you're saying, Book of Boba Fett would have been better, probably 4 episodes or 3 episodes of a past show and then 3 episodes of a current timeline, where this maybe 1 episode in the past, 2 episodes that go in the context of that, 1 episode of flashback again, 2 episodes of that, and then maybe sprinkle the last 2 together and splice them up a little bit or something. But I don't know.
You know what I think would have been better? I mean, just spitballing here. What if, like, instead of knives in the Acolyte, they use sabers, and they cut off a couple limbs, but the Master gets away, showing strength for the Acolyte and fear for the Jedi, and the Jedi sends a message back saying, we got an actual threat. I don't know. I just, thinking of better ways to insinuate this is an actual, like, threat that the Jedi could be scared of. And you get the nostalgia of limbs getting chopped off, right? And then you get a sense of, oh, they get a robot arm, they want revenge, maybe. I don't know, just throwing that out there.
What, like Anakin? You can't do that shit.
Right? But they're on the hunt. they're the Acolyte's on the hunt for them anyway. They die in the end. So
the problem is, though,
just saying you left the opening and I jumped right in that motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
Giggity. Pause and no diddy.
Yoda master. Like,
you're so stupid. The problem is, though, is the reason why they can't really have this episode switched to first is because of how controversial it is.
That's the biggest
thing. If you do it early, I'm sorry, there's no one's watching it after that. At least we got people through the 3rd episode. Now, does everybody hate it now? Pretty much, yes. But if you do that the first episode, bro, they would be roasted alive. No one's making it past episode 3 or episode 2. So, unfortunately,
they lost me after people getting stabbed by lightsabers survive, and Qui-Gon just got stabbed through the chest.
But at this point, it's a thing that Disney is doubling down on now. Like, I know Disney is not stupid. They've definitely heard people bitching about how Kylo's surviving a stab in the abdomen area or whatever it was. What's her name?
Reva survived twice.
Reva survived
Sabine.
twice. Sabine has survived. At this point, they know people hate it. I hate it. Like, you've dumbed down a lightsaber so badly. It's crazy. And I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, she got hit in the heart. Whatever. She got hit in the heart. But she died pretty quickly.
Like immediately.
Just gotta
Like,
drop.
Died
That we agree
pretty
on.
quickly.
That we
man.
agree on. She did. We need a little more.
Also, I'm sorry. You don't deserve to be a Jedi Master if you didn't sense any of that. Like, come on. They have dumbed down the Jedi so badly that is alone why I'm like, this 4th episode is the last one for me. Because what's cool about Jedi anymore? Like, I'm sorry. Let's keep it real. If that was Anakin, bro,
yeah, go ahead.
he would have stabbed her in the back and saved the other people. It would have.
Yeah, I was gonna say she just waited until everyone was knocked to the ground before helping. By the way, like
Exactly.
why intervene before everyone else? Aren't you were just sitting with these people, and you just let them kind of take the first couple hits?
It's laughable at this point, but they know it. Like they knew what they were doing. They knew. Look, they knew this show was gonna ruffle some feathers, and they doubled down on it.
Yeah.
So I can't at this point be like, Disney doesn't know what they're doing. They're just trying to be bold. No, they know exactly where they're going. So what can we do?
Well, they've kind of set our expectations, and they've let them lower and lower and lower, and now they finally met our expectations. So they've met the bar that they've set for themselves. Finally, can they raise the bar back up, or are we just? Is this the beginning of the end? I don't want to say it's the end of Star Wars. I don't, but good Lord, it's not looking good.
Star Wars will never end. It's too global. And there's too many older people like myself that remember all the old shit that still buy shit related to the old shit, like t-shirts and stuff. We obviously ignore Disney Star Wars except for The Mandalorian mostly, but and Star Wars can never completely die. It just won't. But it can be reduced to the point of being, compared to what it used to be, fucking pathetic. And they are well on their way towards that right now. That is for sure. But to get killing Star Wars, no.
I disagree. But
That's impossible. What's up, Laura?
Laura. Oh, yes, I'm back from Africa. It was awesome. It was great. Tiring as hell, but great.
He had to shave his beard to keep the bugs out.
Honestly, I should have kept it to try to keep the bugs out, too. Keep waking up, having nightmares about the Acolyte.
I've been rewatching the Clone Wars just to feel better.
Oh wow, yes.
Honestly, the power.
Did you just,
of
Justin? Did you just say yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, dude, they don't give any of these characters a chance, man. Like no one around there was like, dude, this is not gonna go well again for these characters. Like, I say this all the time, but that just infuriates me. They don't give them a shot.
Well, I mean, you saying that just made me think about it. Not only is that the case, which is not an excusable case by any means, but they go out of their way to. They know the quality it's going to be, and they go out of their way to hire somebody like Lee Jong-jae and Carrie Ann Moss, Dean Charles Chapman, Daphne Keane, all these big-name people that now you're putting them in a position for them to look shitty in their careers with
exactly
low-quality things when you're hiring them because of the quality of their careers already, and you're literally tampering with their futures in certain ways.
Yeah. It's so bad.
It's kind of appalling. And there's no safe info on Skeleton Crew. I have no...
Yeah.
I mean, do we want Skeleton Crew? Is that like a one we're looking forward to over here? Because that one's gonna be a wash too.
Skeleton Crew is the Iron Heart of fucking Star Wars right now. Nobody gives a shit about that.
I'll tell you what,
add to the list.
I'm done until Ahsoka season 2. Like I don't care about anything coming out. Movies wise, everything. I don't care. I'm not going to see Mandalorian Grogu until it hits Disney Plus.
Oh, by the way, just
I
real
don't
quick,
care.
I just read an article today. That movie is now untitled.
Oh, really?
Thank God.
I mean, they need something.
Because that's a shitty working title. Forget the one you're actually going to put on the actual movie itself. Like Marvel has more creative working titles.
Yeah, it epitomizes their lack of creativity. It's just like, I mean,
what was that? Geek Vibes Nation. That's where I read the article from.
The what?
Yeah, I read it was on Geek Vibes Nation. I read that article on. They were talking about the movie, and they're like, actually, I think it was about Filoni or something. I don't remember, but anyway, that movie came up, and they're like, yeah, Filoni's working on his untitled Mandalorian movie right now. I'm like, ooh. An untitling of that is actually good news. How fucked up is that?
Kind of bad.
Where
Is that
where a title
one
being
of the-
removed from a movie is actually a good thing. Jesus fuck. I wish they'd do that with Venom, because The Last Dance is dumb as shit.
Oh, I don't get me started on the Venom stuff. I'm not I like me some Andy Serkis, but he couldn't even save that second movie. That was.
Can I at least real quick circle back to you're saying the Star Wars is corny?
Yeah, please.
At least, like, look, was it corny when Anakin rubbed on Padme's back and said, I hate sand. It's rough. It's coarse. And it gets everywhere. Of course it was. But honestly, it's also relatable. Because what guy hasn't had a girl that he's crushing on and says some stupid random shit? I think all of us have. And it's fucking
most days.
It's fucking Padme. Like, come on, bro. I'd have been stumbling too.
Make your picture nod or something, goddammit. Participate.
You know, I raised my hand.
Okay, there we go.
When they write the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. No one said this shit is bad. Someone needs to be fired. I'm just gonna say it. That is taking corny to a whole nother level. Let's be real. Anakin was a mental head case his whole entire. He didn't talk to people much. There's reasons why he's awkward. It makes sense. There makes no sense for witches to be this bad. I'm sorry.
I guarantee someone in the crew when they were filming that was laughing their ass off to themselves, thinking of like Monty Python.
Oh yeah. I just want to be an extra, like a fly on the wall on set that day, just being like, we're filming this. This is Lucasfilm. This is Star Wars. We're doing this right now.
Man.
Oh, here's an even better question. How many times did they have to retake that because one of those chanting witches couldn't fucking keep a straight face and just start laughing like, this is too stupid?
It was so bad.
Like, how many takes do you think it took before everyone could keep doing that shit long enough with a straight face?
I think they went full Kubrick. It was at least 40, 50 takes. Minimum. Minimum.
So bad. Oh man. But yeah, Star Wars is corny, but they're on a whole different level. So I just wanted to get that out the way real quick. Cause
Thank you. That's where I was at. I'm just like,
OT is corny as fuck, but it's good corny.
Yeah.
It's corny with heart. This shit doesn't have heart. There's no heart in here.
It has 0. So yeah.
It's got the power of many, but it doesn't have the power of heart.
Who wrote that? They need to be fired. I don't care. They need to be gone. They need to pack up everything they have and go to freaking Antarctica and freeze their ass off out there because they don't deserve. Hollywood ain't for them. Hollywood is not for them.
Someone wrote that, brought it to a writer's room. It passed the writer's room. The writer's room brought that to executives, and it passed the executives, and then it made it on set in the day of the directors, everybody. There was at least 5 to 7 layers of people that had to
go. Kennedy gets the last say. And no,
make it
more lame.
Way too many steps. It went, Leslie wrote it, she showed it to Kathy, who said cool, and poof, there it was. That was it. It was Leslie to Kathy. There was no one in between there.
Oh man, dude.
Well, at least this is giving Star Wars that reference material it's desperately needed for its entirety of existence.
Oh, this is.
They
so
needed to like
bad.
look at each other and just ask themselves, "Is this gonna make us money?" Like really look at me. Are we gonna make money?
I don't think
No.
they care at all about money anymore, man. Like you can't tell me.
Are
they
we gonna
care.
get more viewers? Look, both are
God damn, no fucking reference material. I needed a break for a second.
I was like, I heard you talking down there. I was like, okay, does he want to be back? I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, just I'm so. Oh, but there's no reference material.
There we are. Icarus has it right. It's actually
Yeah.
the power of money.
What money?
They're
They're
just
gonna-
spending
they're not
so
gonna
much
make it.
on these shows, and you don't even see it either.
This is the power of losing money over and over.
Oh man, this is so. Oh,
It's
180
I
mil
just
to
don't get it.
stream. Dude, 180
How much
mil
of that
for this
went to the
show.
writers? How much of it? Maybe that's why they're not getting paid enough.
Yo, chilling. Are you
You're
talking?
muted.
I couldn't
You're
hear you there.
muted. Are you back? You're muted, Aaron.
Nope.
Yes.
I guess my question for you guys: what is the chances y'all finish this show?
Oh man, you know,
The fact we're doing this makes it a little bit higher, but that's about it. Because if it continues on this, if episode 4 is like this episode, or at least it does some lore breaking something, and it doesn't at least put us in the right direction, or it doesn't dangle the carrot and makes us actually want to frickin' run towards it, like
Mm-hmm.
I will be watching it strictly because of this, and I do not want to be doing that because we will not be doing these by the end of the show if that's the only way we're watching it. You know.
Yup.
so
Oh,
just
we can't hear you.
to kind of brief, synopsis of this. We may or may not have one more Afterthoughts of Acolyte, episode 4 with Justin attending. If it, myself included, if it is, that terrible, we will have one more talk about this while Aaron figures out his mic situation.
And next week we'll
Harris.
have Melbourne, which would
I
be great.
know. Perfect. Any more bullet points, Harris? Anything you want to touch up on, bud?
Well, I guess Aaron and Justin, we kind of went off on our own rant for a little bit there because we talked about it last week. But what did y'all think about the order of stuff that we were talking about, like the Arrow, the Book of Boba Fett stuff? Do you think this was? Oh, I guess actually you talked about it, Justin, because you talked about how it was kind of a better order because maybe not storytelling wise, putting the first 2 episodes first in front of 3, but
Mhm.
there's no way that people would have stuck with it if they would got
Yeah.
the 3rd episode first. Storytelling wise, 3 before 1 and 2, getting people to stick with the series.
Dude, check your settings in the thing because I think it changed settings when you disconnected, bro.
That's all it was. It's just factory reset.
I personally I'm actually really upset too because after all the things that were said in the interviews that were
How about now?
cringy. Yeah, what's up?
You good?
Yes.
There we go.
We should have messed with them for a second.
There we go. Fuck.
After all the things that were said that were cringy in interviews that didn't really paint Leslie Heslin in the right way, the show had a lot of elements that I thought would be great as far as Star Wars wise, and I was really trying to put all that aside and give this show a fair shot and give Leslie Heslin an actual chance to throw down some nice work. And it has been, I don't even want to say mediocre at best because it's been bad. it's weird. It's not even giving any of these characters an actual chance to be wanted in the community, and that sucks too, because like that was my problem with Riva. Like I wanted Riva to be cool. They could actually make there is a way they could have made Riva work and give her a show later, and they, as usual, they missed an opportunity, and that's what they did here. They could have had a good opportunity with Osha and May, but they messed around with lore that, in my opinion, it's really on lore that you didn't really have to do. So at this point, man, as I said, I'm gonna give this one more episode a chance. More than likely will be the last one I give a shot. So it does suck though, because I did want this to be, oh my god, this is sick, but dude, I don't even know what to even say about it anymore at this point.
You made me think about something as you said it. Was obviously with the amount of, I mean, we just talked about it with the episodes about how context matters for what you're watching. Would this be something good for maybe a younger person to come in on and watch for the first time in Star Wars? Maybe that might be still just throws the canon out of the way, throws your mind out of the way for the lore aspect of things.
If they are having a hard time getting younger audiences to watch 8,
Young Jedi,
9,
or whatever,
and 7, 8, and 9, and then they're having problems with them to watch any other source of content, I for damn sure know. No matter where you lean, no one's gonna be like, okay, yeah, I want to watch more of this, bro. Like it's just not enticing. Like
it's like if you ask a Star Wars expert, "Hey, I've never watched Star Wars for the first time. Where should I start?" And you say the Acolyte,
You're not an expert.
Sock you in the freaking neck. I don't know.
No, you are not an expert at that point. Like anyone who
No,
doesn't
it's
say
like,
A New Hope is
you
wrong.
think the Acolyte is going to explain the Force better than A New Hope? Oh my God! There's no way.
oh yeah, dude, this is not a good part to tell anybody. I mean,
All right, hot take. Ready?
we're
The
ready.
holiday special
Let's
is
go.
still worse.
I mean, I didn't even see it, so I can't even.
I saw parts of it, but
The holiday special is still worse.
I'll take your word for it because I didn't watch that. So
It's
yeah,
awful.
I saw. It's pretty awful, dude.
Those old TV shows like the Ewok Adventures, and then what's the droid one with C-3PO and R2-D2? Those are okay. They're not good by any means, but they're fun. But the holiday special is.
You're also
talking leave you with nightmares. Yeah, for sure.
You're also talking to the guy that didn't like Bad Batch, so like I have a pretty strict area where I'm at right now. So,
Well, no, I respect the Bad Batch stuff because although I did enjoy it and it has some like fun stuff in there. I mean, it has some legitimately good stuff in there. It is copy paste, like you were saying.
I mean, yeah, that was. I
I
can't
do
argue
love
with
it
that
a
one.
lot. It's just copy. It is copy paste though. I do enjoy the hell out of it. It's copy paste.
yeah, no,
Yeah, that can't
do
be
it no
argued.
more.
That can't be argued. It's
Like,
definitely
it's funny because people want to get mad at me saying that, and I don't want to be a dick saying it, but like,
But here we
No,
go.
being truthful.
I like,
dude. You had Josh with that one. He was like,
Josh.
"God damn it,
Oh my
Justin!"
gosh.
Yep. Dude, you
Josh
had
was
him with that.
unlocked when I said that stuff.
Oh, dude, you don't know people. I mean, people piss Josh off, but they generally don't glitch him, and you glitched him with that one.
Josh is the homie, but like I had to let him know. Okay.
That was fucking hilarious though. 'Cause he's like, ah,
Oh man.
"God damn it!"
Actually, have an epiphany. He was like, "Oh, wait a minute."
he verbatim said, "You know when someone says something that you don't want to hear, but you know they're right." That was
It's
what
so
that was.
true. It's
And
so
I'm
true
like-
that you can't rebuttal. That's what you did. You stopped him in his tracks. Dude, Wow.
Because I'm not gonna hate on a show for no reason. It's gonna be a reason, and I'm gonna make sure I formulate my reasonings. Like, I'm not gonna be just, oh, this show sucks for no good reason. But I will tell you why.
Yeah. Him boy is Aaron. And what age are you and your girls?
What is him boy's name?
I'm him boy because there's my Death Star.
Gotcha.
But I don't. What is your age? I like actually need that point of reference.
You know, this is funny though. If I got my youngest to watch Acolyte, he'd probably apply for Mandalorian.
I don't want to go with the Jedi. I don't know.
David's over in the UK right now. It's like, what is it? If it's 8 o'clock over here, it's like 1, 2-ish over there. That means he's waking up half asleep, just pissed off about Acolyte. It's perfect.
No, it's about to be 4 for him.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I am also high school class of 93.
Hey, well.
And there were not very many female nerds in my high school. Well, there weren't very many people in my high school, but there was even fewer female nerds in my high school. Yeah, like I said, it's almost 4 there.
Germany.
Deutschland, my mother country for most of my blood, yeah. Get my Nightcrawler on. I'm Kurt Wagner. The amazing Nightcrawler.
Give us your best Werner Herzog. Just slow it down.
Werner Herzog. I know the name, but I cannot think of who that actually is supposed to be.
Mando season 1. He was the guy that would bring the. He was bad guy, like.
Oh yeah, that guy. Oh, that motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah.
Have y'all rewatched Mando? By the way,
the what?
Have y'all like rewatched any of those, like Mando or?
Not in a hot minute.
Okay.
I rewatched all 3. The first 2 are still great. The second one, maybe the second season's not as good as like your first watch. I think
I'll probably just skim through to my like favorite episodes of each season and just finish on. Honestly, I liked season 3. Really did. I wish there was more of the mythos. What is it? The
Mythosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mythosaur. That's what it's called. I wish we saw more of that. But I like to see Grogu making a connection through the forest with one.
I think the only season 3 episode that I can go back and watch and like not just wince at a little bit, is probably the Mines of not the Mines of Moria. I almost said that. The Mines of Mandalore, where it felt a little more like Lord of the Ringsy, and they went down there. It's a decent standalone episode.
Yeah, when they went into the water, I was like, "Wow, this feels like the heart of Mandalore. This feels like." Lived in, honestly, compared to Acolyte, it doesn't feel lived in.
Correct, David. Fuck Dr. Jones. He is a bastard. Fucking Americans. I'm sure you agree with that one, though, David. So, except for you, it's fucking Colin his say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Just the Lucasfilm aspect of things right now, just while we're talking Indiana Jones. Or not talking, but just while it's on the brain.
Mm-hmm.
James Mangold directing the other Star Wars movie that's coming out next. Which one's coming out next? And
Mando's supposed to be the one coming out next. Then Ray, then Mangold's.
Oh, Mangold's the third.
Yeah.
Oh, great. That's not good. That's the only one I think that can actually interest new audiences, or at least get people back to like a goodwill.
They'll get a lot with Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu is going to give them a bump. That little shit never dies, and people haven't seen him in a couple years. It's going to be a couple years since the end of Mando season 3 before people are going to clap eyeballs on Grogu again. Yeah, but after the tone of season 3 and how people feel about it, and after all the shows we've gotten afterwards that haven't been well received, I don't know if it's going to be enough. It'll be enough to give it a pop. I don't know if it'll be enough of a pop to make it a success, but it'll do better than it would have otherwise just because Grogu's in it. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. It'll do better than any other movie would have without Grogu in it. Grogu does not guarantee an actual success. It just keeps it from being as bad as it would have. Yeah. garbage. Oh, look, here's Grogu. Yay. But still not where it should be.
Yeah.
So we talked about it last week a little bit, just because I mean we got our longest episode this week, I guess, with Acolyte.
Yep.
Would it have been served better as a film? Obviously, it might not have been the biggest moneymaker in the world as a film, and there would have been a whole lot of different controversy in different ways with that. But all that aside, story-wise, would it have been better like that if we're only going to get a bunch of 3 hours, 4 hours worth of material in general? Cut it down to 2.5 hours.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Yes.
Anyone know how? Does anyone know how to
Justin?
get a hold of Kai Patterson? He can make a cut of this one too.
oh, he will. I guarantee you, he will. There's no way. But Justin,
I
what are
said
you
it
thinking?
before. Aaron explained a lot in 3 minutes, and they explained it in 3 episodes. He did a lot of storytelling. Like, he summed it up like pretty well before you joined, Justin. I was like, God damn, man. Why weren't you in the room, man? You could have saved them a lot of time, and we could have had a lot more action, I feel like, like a lot more
with
happening.
actual sabers. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know Justin hates the Force Foo. I know Justin, you
Dude,
hate.
why are we airbending? I'm sorry, you brought it up. We're literally airbending. This is
that's
not
the witches.
Force.
I'm talking about the hand-to-hand combat.
Okay, let me just go do another breakdancing move. It's great. That is all that is. If I wanted to go watch You Got Served, I'd go watch You Got Served. This is literally not fun to watch any of these fights. The lightsaber, why do the lightsabers look like old school telephones? It's crazy. So
Lee Jung Jae's lightsaber looks awful. I'm sorry, that looks like a small trash compactor or something. It looks bad.
They literally went to Savvy's workshop and said, go make something out of that. It's terrible. Yeah, Star Wars The Last Airbender. It's literally airbending motions. That's what they're doing. I don't understand it. You're still calling it the Force and force pushing people, but you're adding a whole bunch of I saw Katara do all that movements before. It's crazy. You brought it up, Chillin. You started this.
I wasn't talking about the witches. I was talking about the fighting.
It's terrible. But
well, now that you're talking about the witches, does Mother Anastasia really just do some blood bending on Torben in episode 3? Is that what
pretty
that
much.
That's pretty much what it was.
Pretty much.
And just let him go. I was like, okay, there's just a little altercation. Could you have done more with that? So I don't know. Explored that witchiness a little more.
That's
And I heard
literally
one of you
going
say-
to be everyone's question, probably still after this show is over. Could they have done more with that? And the answer will probably be, fuck yes,
Yes!
they could have.
And I heard one of you said it. They took over this kid's mind. And the Jedi just like, oh, let him go. Let him go. Not acting like this is an act of war at that point. No, no. That's Anakin. He slices somebody down. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, yeah.
This dude just got possessed in the corner, and we're just going to be like, oh, come, let's test the kids tomorrow morning. It'll be good.
This stuff happens to him all the time. We're fine with it.
Yeah,
Could you
we're
let him
fine.
go, though? Like, we can find more Padawans, but can you let this one go?
Didn't you know Padawan was old Jedi for cannon fodder?
There's just,
sense.
like, gambling with...
Operation Get
life.
Behind the Padawan.
And it's like, well, there's 2 more girls right here. I mean, if he dies, we have 2 more. I mean...
Torben was essentially just a scribe from Fallout in those moments. He was like, just, well, damn. I'm
Yeah,
here.
Padawans and
Padawans
red
are
shirts
red.
confirmed. Yeah, no shit, right?
There's a lot of red shirts in episode 3.
I've seen Archie Manning get treated better than that Padawan. Well, that red shirt.
Yeah.
So that's great. Oh man, wait, what did LBC say?
It was just Book of Boba and Kenobi were so bad. Mando looks amazing. Again, I thought Andor had a few uneasy moments that have plagued the franchise since 2010. What? I don't get the last part.
I think she probably meant 2020 because Disney didn't even buy Lucasfilm till 2012.
Hmm.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
I honestly think like Andor is part of the reason why they're in this rut. So
Well, I don't know. I think Solo had more to do with that, and Andor is just going off the Solo and Rogue One kind of era of things so much more. Those were just the two. Like Furiosa right now, it's not making a whole bunch of money because Mad Max didn't make a whole bunch of money. Fury Road at least, but prequel of that, we were like, all right, do we really need that? And it's service. I mean, Furiosa is actually really good, but it's kind of just serviceable in that aspect where Andor, as much of quality as I do believe it is, and I'll fight for it on a hill all day, yada yada. It is a prequel of a prequel again. So how much viewership are you actually going to get for that? How much excitement can you actually churn for that?
I don't more so mean that way. I mean, so they don't know what they really want to cover at this point, in my opinion. With having, you good, brother?
Yeah.
Think so.
They don't know really what they want to cover at this point, is what I think happened with Andor. You got this weird spy, whatever you want to call it, in Andor. And it's not, I mean, to me, it's not really Star Warsy at all, except for you see just random things in the background. But now when you get somewhat of a, I guess, a lot of people that are like, this is bad, and then a lot of people that like, oh yeah, we like this way. It's really good cinematography or whatever they say. Then you move over to other shows that are like baseline true, like sticking to the Star Wars story.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get really much love at all. So I don't know if they don't really, because now they're trying, in my opinion, they're trying to mix all that together also in Acolyte, and I don't think that works well either. So that's why I don't think they really know what they want to do, and I think that with Andor, that really started that motion of what are we trying to search for?
Right. No, I see what you're saying. And here's my counter argument. I think you're right in terms of it's not, Star Warsy in terms of like lightsabers or Force people. It does a lot of telling about what the Empire is doing behind the scenes. They're enslaving people, or they're just arresting people and they're giving them sentences with no end. So they're enslaving people without them actually knowing it. It kind of shows like how Cassian Andor got into the rebellious side with Lutheran. Is it Luthen?
Luthen Rail.
Thank you, guys. He's kind of like with Mon Mothma and all the other like political people who are kind of forming the rebellion. You see the start of that, all the spies and stuff behind the scenes that isn't really, a part of the main saga, which is Anakin, the Skywalker family, and Obi-Wan and all the Jedi and stuff. This is just more of who's the mass people, the people who aren't actually Force sensitive. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. You've seen that side of everything. But yeah, could have got a bigger audience if you did reference a lot more, Force stuff. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, I was torn out of it when I saw AK-47 in this show.
You were right. Yeah, I honestly think seeing the guy with the bowl with the cereal a few times kind of took us away from it.
Yeah. We don't need to get into my feelings on that show. But
saying you can skip all that, skip that part. Just watch Andor. Just watch Andor's story. Watch Luthen. Those are good parts. He talks about it's like, I can't stand idly by. I use the tools of my enemy, and that's what I've like resorted to. Like he's fully committed into being a spy and building that network. I'm like, he's cool. Him and Andor, I'd watch.
I will go watch the story arc of the Martez sisters before I finish that.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's an insult, dude. I understood that reference. Okay.
Wow.
The Martez sisters from Clone Wars and a little bit of Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I didn't even know their names, and I knew
man.
exactly who you were talking about. I was like, wait, are you talking about those two girls from the freaking Clone Wars who did absolutely nothing but became
Yep.
relevant in the Bad Batch for filler?
They were a life lesson for Ahsoka. God damn it! What are you thinking?
I
Ahsoka's
think
my
we need to
girl,
change
man.
the term Glup Shido to Martez sisters.
Oh man, I don't think I can watch
Oh.
them.
So okay,
man.
I see y'all
Oh,
been
They,
in the
they were a
comments little
duo.
bit.
I forgot that you made me remember, and I can't forget now.
Oh, look at you, your
You're
fancy
welcome. You're
QUE
welcome.
British check there, Melvin. It's a fucking check.
What?
Is that Checkwa? What's
That's
a
a
Checkwa?
check. That's a fancy check.
It's
It's a check.
a cashier's check. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
It's got the in
The
there.
check from the cashier. This is. If you
So,
All right, guys,
okay.
I think that's going to be it for me. We're about an hour and a half in. I got other things to do right now, but I will be back for the next Afterthoughts. And I hope
Oh,
to
yeah.
see Justin and Aaron there. If I don't, I understand. I understand
Well, no,
why.
I'm gonna force myself. Whether or not I talk about it, I'm probably still gonna watch it. But
Yeah, this
if
is probably the last episode for me, so I will watch this last one
like-
at least. But it's more than likely the last
He is
episode for
set.
me.
like if it keeps getting like if the trend continues the way it is, I will probably stop talking about it because I just won't fucking want to. But I'll probably still watch it just to see,
Please come back.
or at
Well,
least I may not
I'll-
want to talk about it on my own stream because somehow we can talk about Acolyte for 4 fucking hours.
You didn't talk about it at all?
No, yesterday it was literally all I talked about, and I ran like a 3 hour and 55-minute stream on just that goddamn episode.
I mean, there's a lot of bullshit to cover. I mean, there's a lot of great content to cover. It's really
Well, I mean,
Alright.
you can notch at least 45 or so minutes of that up to my usual rabbit holes that I fall down and shit too. So, but that's still like a good 2.5 hours of Acolyte content on that motherfucking stream. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll all be able to reconvene next week and it'll be a little more positive. But if not, we can
I mean,
yell
I'll,
for a week and call it a day at the end of it.
Still
I
has
mean,
hope.
I'll
Harris.
come back because I'm a
Guys, Harris still
microphone
has
whore.
hope. All right.
Uh,
All right,
no,
guys.
I'll come back
because
because I'm an internet.
Nice meeting
slut.
you,
That's
Nick.
why I'll be back.
Right. Nice meeting you too, guys.
You
Bye.
too, man.
See you, Nick.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I should be a little bit better about it. Y'all go follow Nick on social medias and stuff. TikTok. He's already got 3.5 million people on TikTok, so he doesn't need you. But
Jesus
go help him
Christ.
out, I guess.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's a TikToker.
3.5.
Hey, fight me. It works now, Quest.
Jesus.
When your mic works.
Boy, he's gonna be so
Uh,
depressed when they have to sell or close TikTok.
Oh.
I mean, hey, just start converting now. He'll be fine.
Start working on them
Yeah,
shorts,
there
Nick. Start
Get-
working on them
get going.
shorts.
Shit. I don't know. What are y'all feeling with everything?
I'm just waiting to see how everything gets handled. Like literally my primary motivation for watching this show is seeing if they're gonna actually find that mine with their lead ass shoes with magnetism on them.
I
Because
really want to give it a chance, but
that would and if that does happen, I guarantee I'll be talking about Acolyte one more time at least.
At least the ones.
One more time.
I really want to give it a chance. But like for me, they've already really kind of crossed the Anakin line, and it's pretty much nail sinker for me. But like, as I said, I'm really trying with this show, but it's I'm already have like conceived my mindset now, especially given this this third episode that we got. There's not because to me, y'all can tell me if I'm wrong on this too. To me, this starts to like to know that she did some type of I don't even think I want to completely say now it's the Force the thread is the force now, but whatever.
Yeah.
For them, that means like she did some force junk to manipulate midichlorians and conceive these two.
Mm.
I don't think that's a far-fetched thought. Am I wrong or right?
Well, okay. Here's my counter to that. When during her teaching of the kids, she referred to the thread and she talked about some people think it's a force to be used. We don't. So to me, that puts everything they do square in witchy territory, including the part where during the ascension ceremony where they had to wait till those planets actually hit conjunction before she could even really do the ascension part or wanted to. So it's just way too many ritualistic aspects for that to be like standard force manipulation as a Jedi or Sith would do it.
Here's my counter to that. The thing that they do in Clone Wars to differentiate when you see Mother Townsend using witchcraft is you see green whatever all over the place. They could have done that to make that differentiation, and they should have done that.
They did a very poor job of it. If you look close, there is actually a very tenuous fog. Even when they're doing their airbending shit, they're bending their thread. They should have definitely made it a lot dark. It's there.
It is there. It's just it doesn't look good at all. It looks like it's almost just distorting the camera. Like it doesn't look like there's actually something that's
it's a garbage effect, but it's there.
I'm about to check.
I gotta check this shit out.
Yeah, because if you want that differentiation, you need to make that clear.
Oh no, you're exactly right about that.
So that's
they did
why
a shit job.
Exactly. So that's why for me, that bleeds into okay. Then must be how Plague has figured out how to do it for Anakin, and that's where I'm like, I don't like that much.
Dog, I blow fatter clouds than what they had in that show. That shit you can see.
Well, okay, so like you were saying earlier, Justin, it literally feels like friggin' airbending. Like the way you see it feels like live action Avatar in the sense it's just like a little push of the camera and like just a distortion of the screen for a second is just showing you the airbending. It's not an actual like green smoke that's mystifying something or.
Yeah, they should have done like purple smoke or something.
We said some pink gooey looking thing,
Yeah,
like
something that says, okay, yeah, these are witches like the Night Sisters, but they're definitely doing something different than your standard Force user. Because the Night Sisters, technically, with their green magic, are manipulating the dark side of the Force as well.
Yeah, then that's what scared Palpatine the most about him. Is like they can do all this stuff and we don't even understand it or can start to understand it. Like,
yep.
Yeah, I think it was probably Agatha all along.
Jesus fuck, Icarus. Why do you got to bring that shit up?
Here's the thing that I have actual more faith in Agatha being actually semi-decent. What are y'all talking about? Hold on. What are you? You're talking about where she's training, she's teaching them lessons, right?
Yeah, she starts off with that little floaty thread.
Going to the power of one, the power of two, the power of
that's
many.
the ascension ceremony.
And
that's the ascension ceremony. But yeah,
particularly.
After she makes that thread, though, when she gathers it up, you can't see it for shit, but there's still a little thing there. And you can see it a little bit in the people she's going against, too, when they gather it. They're gathering little thread balls.
There is nothing there.
Oh, it's there.
Chillin was staring at the screen so long that he convinced himself it was there.
No, I just followed the.
I see it. That is dog shit.
I'm not saying it's not. Shit. I never said it wasn't dog shit. I just said
that is insanely bad.
I agree.
We're going off of that.
It's there.
That's it.
As garbagey as it is, it's still there.
Nah. I can't give them that. No, that is bad.
Oh, it's horrible.
And it makes no sense to do this instead of to use some Night Sister magic because the Night Sisters call it the thread too. They're not calling it the Force; they call it the thread.
Yep.
So
they did so in Ahsoka.
Well, and if you're gonna utilize, like we keep saying, all these genericisms and all these tropes over and over, if you're gonna go the safe way and not really delve into some like unique little lore about these guys or something like that, let the Coven use some cool Night Sister magic. Like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Simple
You're
as that.
using the same terminology.
Yeah.
Keep it consistent. No, that's on
Insert
them.
maniacal laugh.
Or at least give us fucking maniacal laugh. Jesus H. Christ.
Dude, that is. We are going off a little space of air, guys. No,
It's done badly, but it's there.
that's
It's
awful.
M. Night
It is awful.
Shyamalan airbending level of bad.
It is airbending. I just watched her.
It's thread bending.
That is terrible.
It is
This
horrible.
show, man.
It is
I
definitely.
might not make it through 4. I might not make it.
And you know
through
what? That
4.
just brings me right back to that other
man.
question. Where the fuck is this $180 million going? Because it ain't
Where?
going into witch
Where?
effects.
Yeah.
They sure as hell didn't spend any on the witches, and I thought this was supposed to be, I thought Leslie was all about loving the women. She's shortchanging her witches on special effects. You
She's
done
shortchanging
broad?
Everyone.
Like Jesus Christ.
Because receiving this would be so much better if there is an absolute differentiation, what you know what I'm trying to say,
Differentiation.
differentiation or whatever in how they're if they're using the Force or straight up witchcraft. That is so minuscule. No, and no.
This is
No.
Forcecraft or Witch Force.
This is terrible.
It is horrible. It is horribly executed for sure.
Oh, it makes me hate this show even more right now. Like, wow, that is bad. I'm just saying this would have been an easy, like, guys, look, I know y'all thought it was the Chosen One prophecy that we're talking about, but no, it's clearly witch stuff because you can see the green. We've seen Mother Townsend literally bring legs to literally create metal legs for
Maul.
Maul.
Yeah.
That would not be out of the realm of possibilities. Instead, they do whatever this is.
Shitty.
No.
Shitty effects.
Wow.
Power of one, power of two.
2, power of many.
Yes, it's an aerobic
Jeez,
workout.
man.
Power of one, power of two, power of many, power of one, power of two, power of many.
What was that like?
Wow.
Call Me Maybe dance from 10 years ago or whatever. It makes
Oh,
me
Yeah.
sweet
feel
Jesus!
bad
Don't
for
even.
a second, you know.
Yeah.
This is bad. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, they didn't even give these actors a chance to get
That's
loved
that's
on at
the
all,
biggest
man.
shame of all of this. Honestly, is they bring in all these people like Lee Jung Jae from fucking Squid Game, and they bring in all these ladies that are super excited about being able to feel like badass Star Wars bitches, and then they get
They don't
This.
give them the opportunity to be.
Dude,
that.
they're gonna
No.
get chased out like Reva did. Unfortunately, too, man. I thought Moses Ingram did a decent job on what she was given, but bro, like, she's not coming back, bro. I don't know if y'all have noticed. She is at none of the Comic-Con stuff that they do.
oh no, she gone.
She is at none of them. They will have the whole cast of Obi-Wan except for her, and it's very unfortunate because they could have really made a Reva show, but they decided to do too much with her. That
If they could
shouldn't
have
have been
done
done.
just the Warren Beatty version of Kenobi, we
Oh,
would have been in a
man.
whole different. Star Wars would be in a much better place. We'd have
It
movies.
would. It would. Oh man, that is bad.
It's depressingly bad. In the meantime, Mark, I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know. Store brand batteries. Yeah,
I've heard Doctor Who wasn't bad either.
I've heard Mark, and then I guess one other person I've talked to have told me it's good. Everybody else that I've heard has been the exact opposite. And I know old Melvin over here would give us a good rant or four about it.
I actually like the main character guy.
I like Futigawa a
that
lot.
one show that he was in or whatever. Was
Sex
it Sex
Education?
Ed? Yeah,
Mhm.
he was good in there. So
He's a good actor.
Only as good as the story you're given.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
That's the same thing with those girls. Like I know people are all up on the girls in there that are playing the younger Osha and May. But bro, they were giving some trash lines too. I'm gonna kill you. Like
Yeah.
what?
that and Ice Cube Jr. had the record for like
Ugh.
attitude flip until that. I love you. You can't leave. I love you. I'll kill you. That was like some straight up Evil Dead shit, Mom. I'll kill you. Actually, if they'd have used the Evil Dead laugh in the chant, that would have been better. Now that I'm
Insert
thinking about
maniacal
it.
laughter there.
or just use a Deadite evil cackle instead of whatever one they used.
Yeah. Anything would have been better. Yeah, no, I feel like I've seen the young May before in something. I'm pretty positive I have, and she wasn't bad in that, but
Must have had a better scripting.
Anything would have been a better script. The first draft of this script was probably better than this script.
Yeah,
Right?
I can't write, and I probably could have come up with better lines.
Dude, I just can't. Dude. I can't. I
Creatively
gotta
write.
click off
I can
this right
I can
now,
write.
'cause-
But like me sitting down to write a story is generally an exercise in futility, but I could still come up with a better script than these motherfuckers right now.
Yeah. Easy. Give me the concept and give me the outline for the episode, and anybody that we know could come up with a better script. I feel like 80% of the people that would watch Star Wars could come up with a better script.
I mean, bro,
Ooh, I've heard a lot of good things about Umbrella Academy.
there's so many. Like that's why I talk about moments with Star Wars. They miss them so badly, and I hate that. Like you, me, people like us can easily, on a whim, come up with something better. And it's just not even in my the way I'm gathering, it's not even touched and talked about around the Star Wars camp. Because like, what was that one? Chillin' for Ahsoka.
Mhm.
I was like, an easy way to make Sabine liked and also her getting her Force powers more impactful was whenever she is so confident that she can throw Ezra up over that ship. She misses, but badass Ahsoka is fighting off Morgan Elsbeth and gets her up with one hand. Like, honestly, that shows how badass Ahsoka is and how dope, like, how cool it is that Sabine is finally getting her powers, but she ain't there yet. They completely missed that. And I'm sorry, I'm a Joe Schmo over here. I feel like that should have been easy to think. But hey.
Well, in hindsight's 2020, sure. After you watch it and we can come back here and start talking about it, we can come up with a lot of cool ideas off of what we saw and really rework it and be like, okay, well that's hindsight is 2020. It's easier to rework then. But that's not necessarily the case when you have a script and you have to approve a script before it gets there the day of, and you have time to make those changes. People have put eyes on them.
Yeah, but when they're coming up with one power of two, power of many, I don't know. I don't know what their baseline is at this point.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It feels like they lowered their bar so far that they've made us pissed off as a fandom, and now they finally met their bar. And yeah, we're all pissed off, but we're kind of just we're just here at this point. Like, oh, great. So welcome to existence.
It's tough, man. But guys, I gotta run out of here, man. I'm getting exhausted. It's been a long day, so
yeah.
Appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Always, bro.
Real quick, tell people where to follow you and stuff. That's what I've been bad about.
Justified MF, that's my main channel. I just started a, I guess, nerdy channel, if you will, called Justified Nerd. Literally started it last week, so
no shit.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man.
0 uploads, slack ass.
It has a live stream up, so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I'm working
on
on
I forgot you did the watch party on that channel. My bad. I forgot it.
And I'm working on a short that should be out tomorrow, but
right on.
Life happens, but it's getting. I have 2 channels now. It's hectic. Okay, guys.
Yeah, get it.
All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Did Aaron? Did you watch his Dark Materials?
No.
I did. I loved it. My dad and I, we watched that together. It's a great show. Great books,
Cool.
Golden Compass, all that kind of stuff. But it's got some kind of Star Wars-y type of things.
I shall have to check that shizzle out.
It is. It's good, but like it kind of goes into that where Disney needs to give Star Wars HBO to take control of that dragon shit up, or his Dark Materials that shit up. But Daphne Keene, the X-22 girl from Logan, she was the main character. Now
23.
23. One of them like that. I know people were asking up here, and we were talking about stuff, so I didn't want to interrupt what we were talking about. But Jay's doing all right. I haven't heard from him in just a couple days, but he's doing okay. Got some health stuff going on that I'll let him talk about instead of me talking about. But he's doing okay. He should hopefully be back talking about some stuff sooner than later. But hey, in the meantime, y'all got to deal with my crazy self, so it's gonna be fun. Don't know how Jay's doing. Harris, do you know if he's well? That he's on the men's, at least. That's the good thing. Yeah, he's doing all right. We should hopefully be able to get you some new stuff here soon. And whether Jay's able to or not this weekend, obviously we want to do it with Jay if we can. But I want to get some Sunday live streams going up again. And if you're not doing anything this Sunday, you want to come hang out.
This coming Sunday is Father's Day, sir.
Oh, this is right. That is right.
So maybe week after.
Maybe the week after. Yeah, we'll talk to some folks. We'll figure that one out. But yeah, man, we've had a shirtless Jedi. Now we need a shirtless Quarren. Is a Quarren a Jedi?
I thought we had shirtless Quarren in the Clone Wars when they were all fighting
did?
the when they were fighting the Mon Cal,
Mm-hmm.
the Civil War on Mon Calamari.
What the hell is that?
Delicious dinner.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Calamari is so delicious when it's cooked right.
Yeah,
It is not easy to do. It's very
No.
easy to get rubbery ass calamari.
yeah. Which can still taste decent, but
Yeah.
if you cook it right, it's perfect. Not
Oh
live
yeah,
action.
not in live action. No, we haven't. This coming week is your birthday. Yay!
Hey, happy
birthday!
Celebration time. Celebrate good times. Come on, as they say. Whew, give him our well wishes. I will.
But of
I will.
course.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I was to say it's pretty much dipping time. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking so too. We're almost at that 2-hour mark. I'm gonna try to make it to the next 2.5 minutes. And I think we're ready after that. I will run a couple things by, just brief little updates. If you made it this far, thank you, and we'll reward you just a little bit by. There is a little Stargate update, and the update is it's not looking great. So that's the sad update. I'll give it to you frank and quickly instead of holding that carrot out for you. But it's not looking like we're gonna get something this summer. Yeah, Chris. I know.
Announcement wise, you mean?
Not announcement wise. Maybe they can announce like what is actually being planned, but it wouldn't be like an actual show announcement. It wouldn't be an actual film announcement or anything like that. Yeah. So that sucks. That's sad. So nothing like that. But one thing Stargate wise that we were thinking about doing, and I know you're a fan of Star Wars Theory, and you know how he has his weekly Star Wars videos. Obviously, it was Nerd Theory, then Stargrift, and all those different ones. What if we were gonna do? Would you be a fan of? And everybody in the comments, y'all let me know, of course. Would y'all be a fan of us doing something similar to that, where you just talk about something within the realm of Stargate once a week? We're just doing like a weekly little Stargate podcast, kind of. Of course, if there's something to talk about in Stargate news, that is
right. Yeah.
But typically, it would be maybe going over a season of something, going over an arc of something in a season, or a couple episodes. I got the Erisbach comic back there we could talk about. We could just talk about cool concepts. I mean, we've kind of befriended a couple people that have worked within the Stargate world, so maybe we can start trying to do some more interviews, things like that. What? Yay, nay, thumbs up, thumbs down, sideways thumbs. What are y'all thinking?
It's just a matter of like when it's going to be, really, because my life is odd, and I already have 2 of my own streams.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking generally as well. Invite David Hewlett. Well, we totally would at a certain point. But I'm just thinking like a general stream. It doesn't have to be like I might be your general host typically or something like that, or Jamie might be your typical host. We might have 1 or 2 people that try to be there all the time, but like we probably invite Aaron whenever he's available. Or
I would definitely would want. I definitely would want to be part of it for sure, at least on a semi-regular basis, anyway.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we don't need the exact like we don't need to make it hard on ourselves, and that's kind of I think one of those things that's made that like Star Wars theory, like nerd theory, Stargriff kind of hard. It's like it is that set 2 people or set 3 people every week. They're there. Or you might have like a rotating group of hosts, like Jamie and I might go back and forth. Maybe there are weeks where we're both there, something like that. And then, we'd have guests, whoever can make it that week within our little community. Or if we can get some freaking David Hewletts on there, we'll get some David Hewletts,
Oh, yeah. I would, their arrangements would be made. You give me enough warning, I will make sure I'm there if fucking Hewlett shows up. Are you kidding me?
Please. We have thumbs up. Cool. That's a couple. That's good. I like it. That's 3 for 3 so far. 4 for 4. I think David Blue's streaming too. That'd be an interesting one. Eli there. I'm so pumped. My current roommate for the month and a half of June and some of July, because we're doing this play that I'm directing, and my buddy's in it and staying in my guest room right now while it's going on. He is our new editor for Sidetrack. So if things have looked a little differently on the last couple of videos, that's because we got a fancy new editor who's actually very good with tech, which is very handy because most of us aren't. Oops. Where was I going with that?
I'm not sure.
I'm too angry myself sometimes.
Yeah, I do that all the time. That's probably why I lose retention when I'm streaming.
Probably, yeah, we made it to the 2-hour mark, so at least we've done well in that aspect of things.
No, I just want to play cello with Amanda tapping. I don't know if you saw there's somewhere on Sidetrack is a video of a panel that they were like a bunch of them were on, and somehow playing cello ended up as a euphemism for fucking. Yeah. And so they were that was a running joke for a little bit of a chunk of that panel, which was hilarious.
Well, Amanda Tapping, she has a very apt last name, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It fits. It fits. That's what I was going to say.
I'd like to fit.
My buddy, who is the new editor for everything that's been staying with me, he's just starting Stargate. I was like, well, if you're going to be a Sidetrack editor, you need to know Stargate, So he's been binging Stargate like a mother, and I think he's about halfway through season 6. And I think we're going to try to convince him to do some watch parties on here from season 7 onwards. Because like the second Atlantis is introduced, your brain's just how much you have been enjoying it, it's about to go tenfold. Like it changes its entirety,
Oh wait, you said through. Okay, so he's seen that fucking time loop episode with Jack and Teal'c. Then I cannot remember the name of it.
I'm so bad with the episode titles, but
that is like easily one of my top 5 episodes. I don't care. Out of
the
all
golfing
that
one
shit.
And all that.
Yeah, in my backswing.
Yeah, I think his favorite is Daniel Jackson, just because he's like an archaeology kind of guy, wants to get like eye horrors tattoo and stuff. But I've seen the bastard laugh at Jack O'Neill more than anything else. So that so far,
windows of opportunity.
Windows up. There we go. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah.
In my backswing.
That shit's great.
RDA can do no wrong. Well, okay, so we got everything down. Is there anything else we need to give the world before we get out of here?
Outside of a couple people, most people already know where to find me. I don't know if Icarus does or Squeenie.
Yeah, and for anybody else watching this later.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but yeah. Well, here we'll just I don't know if this will go in. Oh, actually, I'll just do it this way. I won't be able to put a link in, but I can do this. Oops.
I did just put it up for just a second there.
Well, that's like. Oh, there we go. Yeah, but I say that's the actual @ you can find me at too. So that's my channel @
All right, there you go. Yeah, no, I've taken the names off of it typically, just so when we do have these videos edited afterwards, it's not just all popping up with names every 3 seconds.
I feel that.
It's
That makes
great
sense.
for us, but the editors don't like it so much. And I
Right.
guess I get it. Peter! Long time no see, my friend.
Was
You
it
just hopping in here? Well, we might just be hopping out, but we have 2 hours of a great stream to catch up on. And we begin with the power of 1, the power of 2.
and the power of many?
Oh, God. If you like our dumbasses singing that over and over and over again, please listen, Melvin, and hit that like. It's just too good. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. You know we appreciate it. I'm just glad that we're back on here doing stuff. What's the editors? That's what I'm saying. I don't tell them I said that, but I guess he'll totally see this in a little bit. So sorry, bud. But
There's
no,
going to be
hey,
some odd pixelation of Harris's face in every clip from this stream. It's going to be so weird.
You're talking about Josh glitching out earlier. He's going to purposely be glitching me out the entire stream. I'll just be like half a beat off.
You're going to look like a 1970s martial arts movie.
No, I will look like the audio in Madam Web. Because
You saw that?
I did. And none of the just from the acting perspective, not even before I get to the nerdy aspect of just tearing things apart, like it hurt me physically sitting there. I'm like, I want to do this for a living, and this is what people are putting on the silver screen now. Like I literally went. I didn't sign an NDA, so if anybody tries to come after me, you can't because I didn't sign an NDA. But that new Marlon Brando movie with Billy Zane, as playing Marlon Brando, we just did a bunch of ADR for it last week. So like additional dialogue, I forget what the R reduction, something like that, where people in the background or something like that in the park where you don't have them talking on set. We come in afterwards as voice actors and say things and add dialogue of what they would be saying back there, et cetera, et cetera. And I actually entirely voiced over this different character because they couldn't understand what he was saying on set one day. They should have paid me. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But no NDAs. How the hell did I get there? I keep going on tangents and then I forget how I get there.
Well, I follow you, so I forget where you started.
I know. We're all ADD and it's dangerous. It's a fun time, but it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It was something about ADR voice. Oh, Madam Web. So yeah, no, like it's such an easy thing to do in the sense of you're literally sitting in a studio working with the director, the editors, whoever's in there, usually both, and a couple producers or whoever, and you are audibly like matching what you're saying to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Not the easiest thing in the world by any means, because you have to, go with a certain inflection, go with a certain thing, and tune your own voice to what you're seeing. But they didn't even try to do that for Madam Web. They didn't even attempt. It was god awful. The villain does not. They cut away every time he's on screen because his face. You might as well not show him, and they did good with that because not a single word of dialogue matches with what he says. Not a single word, and it hurts. Automatic dialogue replacement. There we go. Thank you, Peter. I'm in the industry. I should know that. Oops. I did it last week and I don't know it. That's what they pay me for. Say words, not know what they mean.
Yes.
Say them correctly. They didn't pay me either. That's what I need to pay. The Crouching Rancor, Hidden Jedi. And, okay, before we hop out, last thing I'll say is any news on Getaway. It is having its world premiere at the Seattle Film Festival in July. I do not remember the dates off the top of my head, but I think it was like the 12th through 15th, something in that general time span. But yeah, that's Getaway. And after that, I think she wants to do, our director / producer wants to do a small theatrical run. I don't think it'd be a big one. But after that, it would hopefully be sold to like a Shudder or something like that. But fingers crossed, and I'll keep you posted. You know.
Cool.
And if you want to live stream a play, since I got you here, can I reel everybody in and get y'all to come watch a live stream of a very fun sketch comedy play, and either the 25th or the 30th. 25th would be easiest for those in the States. 30th would be the easiest for those in the UK. That's all I say about that. I don't want to over promote any bullshit. If you want to come help,
Links. We
Come
need
help.
links. Links.
yes. I don't have links here, but just at Harris McGrade on everything, and you will find them. Yep. But besides that, this has been Sidetrack / MCubed, and this has also been Chilling in the Basement, and at Nick Ray / Nick at Night, and at Justified MF.
Yep.
Say hi to everybody, subscribe to everybody, go like their stuff, keep up with them. They're all great people.
I'll be
And,
streaming Saturday night
Streaming Saturday night?
at 9 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Times.
Yes, sir. Did you flash the stage recently? Well, no. I was gonna try to make a joke, but I didn't know how to do that. Love what you do what you love. Damn right. But yeah, thank y'all again for everything. We appreciate it, and we will see y'all soon.